Hello everyone. In this video I will be explaining about Favorsky rearrangement. This rearrangement is a base catalyzed rearrangement for the conversion of alpha haloketones into corresponding carboxylic acid derivatives. And in this particular rearrangement there is one criteria which is important, and that is presence of at least one alpha hydrogen atom. So this rearrangement is actually a skeletal rearrangement. That means there is change in the carbon skeleton, and it occurs via formation of cyclopropanone intermediate to generate either carboxylic acid or carboxylic acid derivatives. Now whether carboxylic acid is obtained or its derivatives such as esters or amides are obtained, that depends upon which kind of nucleophile is being used to carry out the reaction. For example, if we use water as a nucleophile, then the product will be carboxylic acid. Or if we use sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, then also product will be carboxylic acids. If alcohol is used as nucleophile, or we can say alkoxide ions are used as a base, then the product will be an ester. Similarly, if amines are used, then the product will be amides. So it is overall conversion of alpha haloketones into corresponding carboxylic acids or its derivatives. This is the general reaction where we have alpha haloketone, and in presence of a base it leads to formation of carboxylic acid derivative. Now here in base I have given the example of alkoxide ion. Instead of alkoxide we can take sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide also. So in that case our product will be carboxylic acid. If we use amines, then the product will be amide. Now here you can see in the starting material I have shown two alpha positions. So with respect to this carbonyl group there are two alpha positions. So here the main requirement is at one alpha position we need at least one halogen, and on the other alpha position we need at least one alpha hydrogen atom. So if this criteria is satisfied, then it leads to formation of carboxylic acid or its derivatives. But there are certain exceptions that also I will be explaining in this particular video in the end. So till now it is conversion of alpha haloketones into carboxylic acids. This is the mechanism. First step is formation of carbon ion. Now here the base is alkoxide ion. So alkoxide ion base is a proton acceptor, so it will abstract the alpha hydrogen atom. So this alpha hydrogen atom is abstracted by a base. So the sigma electrons will reside on the alpha carbon atom, which leads to generation of a negatively charged carbon atom, that is a carbon ion will be obtained. Second step is formation of cyclopropanone intermediate. Once we have got this negatively charged carbon atom, then on the other alpha carbon atom we have one halogen, and we know that halogens are very good leaving group. So this nucleophilic carbon atom will attack on this carbon bearing halogen atom, and halide ion will leave the molecule. So in the overall reaction there is a formation of a carbon-carbon bond, so we get cyclopropanone intermediate. Now here in this step I have shown the stereochemistry. So the negatively charged carbon atom or carbon ionic carbon will attack from the side which is exactly opposite to that of the halogen, because when they are exactly opposite to each other, so it becomes very easy for leaving group to leave the molecule. So we can say there will be a backside attack, new carbon-carbon bond is formed of opposite stereochemistry from the departing halogen group. So here you can see on halogen we have solid wedge bond, while in cyclopropanone we have broken wedge bond. That means they are of opposite stereochemistry. So we get this cyclopropanone intermediate. Once we get cyclopropanone intermediate, then there will be attack of nucleophile. So here I have shown the example of alkoxide ion. Instead of alkoxide ion we can have alcohol or water, or we can use amides also, so amines also. So based on that we can get different products. So here I have shown alkoxide ion which will attack on the electrophilic carbonyl carbon, and oxygen will acquire negative charge. We get this intermediate. Here we still have that cyclopropanone ring. Now for the next step, the driving force is the negative charge on this oxygen atom. So next step is ring opening of that cyclic intermediate or cyclopropane, followed by protonation. Now here the ring opening of cyclopropane take place from either of the side if it is symmetrical ketone. If that cyclopropanone ring is unsymmetrical, that means it has got different substituents on the other opposite sides, then in that case more stable carbon ion will be favored. So this I will be explaining in detail while explaining the examples. So here the driving force is negative charge on oxygen atom which will shift here, and the ring will open up, this bond will break, and we get another carbon ion, preferably more stable carbon ion will be obtained. Once that more stable carbon ion has been obtained, so we have alcohol, so this carbon ion will abstract the proton from this alcohol and alkoxide ion will get regenerated. So that's why it is base catalyzed, because in the end base is regenerated. So last step is protonation, leading to formation of a carboxylic acid derivative. In this case it is an ester. So this was the mechanism and it is quite simple. Now what are the general features? The base can be either sodium methoxide, sodium ethoxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. We can use nucleophile like amines also, and based on that we get different products. Second important criteria, as I told you, that ring opening of cyclopropanone takes place. So if we have unsymmetrical cyclopropanone intermediate, then the ring opening occurs in such a manner so that more stable carbon ion will be formed. Next, we can have cyclic ketones also as the starting material. So if we have cyclic ketones, then they rearranges in such a manner that there is ring contraction, that is, there is decrease in size of that ring. Another important factor is if we have alkyl groups. So alkyl groups generally destabilizes the carbon ion because they have electron donating effect. So carbon ions are negatively charged species. They are nucleophilic in nature, and if some group keeps on donating the electrons to that negatively charged carbon atom, so there will be increase in electron density and that will become more and more destabilized. Now since we have negative charge, so we need to remove that negative charge or neutralize that negative charge so as to make it more stable, which can be done by introduction of electron withdrawing group. Best example is aryl group. So if electron withdrawing groups are present, then it stabilizes the carbon ion. If electron donating groups are present, then it destabilizes the carbon ion. So when we have unsymmetrical ketones, then we need to check that which carbon ion is more stable, and based on that we will get our product. So this is the first example. Here I have given you example of symmetrical ketone. I can divide this ketone into two identical halves. So these are the two alpha position, and the base is sodium methoxide. So what will happen? Sodium methoxide will abstract this alpha hydrogen atom, generating a carbon ion, and then that carbon ion and carbon will attack. Here we get this product. So let's So when we get negative charge on this carbon atom, so that will attack here and chloride ion will leave the molecule. So we get a bond between these two carbon atoms. So that will be your symmetrical cyclopropanone intermediate. So we get this cyclopropanone intermediate. Once we have got this, then methoxide ion OCH3 minus will attack on this carbonyl carbon. Oxygen will acquire negative charge. Now since the ring is symmetrical, so whether we break this bond or we break this bond, you will get same product, which is this product. So this is the example of symmetrical ketone, which is quite simple. Now the problem arises when we have unsymmetrical ketone. Now here I have given you two examples. This is one starting material where we have benzyl group over here, and this is the other one where we have chlorine on the opposite side. So both are derivatives of acetone only, but you can see the position of chlorine atom or the halogen. So here in this particular molecule, what will happen, this alkoxide ion will abstract the proton from this carbon atom, which is benzylic carbon atom, generating this carbon ion. And when we have this molecule, so the proton will be abstracted from this carbon atom. So the simple way to remember is that proton is abstracted from the carbon where halogen is not present. Okay, there are two alpha carbon atoms. So the one which doesn't have halogen, from that alpha hydrogen is abstracted. So this base will abstract the proton from here, we get this carbon ion. So these are the two carbon ion. Now when this negatively charged carbon atom attacks on this carbon, halogen will leave, we get this cyclopropanone intermediate, and same thing happens over here, we get same intermediate. So whether we have this starting material or this starting material, both of them are giving same cyclic intermediate. Once we get this intermediate, then methoxide ion will attack on carbonyl carbon, oxygen will acquire negative charge, generating another intermediate. Now we have got this intermediate. Next step is ring opening reaction. Now here the ring opening occurs in such a manner so that so as to generate more stable carbon ion. Now if route B is followed, means driving force is negative charge on this oxygen atom, so those electron pairs will shift here to form a carbon oxygen double bond, and then there are two possibilities. If we break this bond, the one with the blue color, that is route B, then we get this carbon ion. You can see negative charge is present on this carbon, CH2 minus. If route A is followed, then this ring opens, bond cleaves, and we get this carbon ion where we have this negative charge on carbon. Now this carbon ion is more stable because it is benzylic carbon ion, and this is primary carbon ion, which is less stable. When we study the order of stability of carbon ion, then generally primary carbon ions are more stable, but when we compare with benzylic carbon ion, then that is still further more stable than the primary carbon ion, because there is phenyl group which has got electron withdrawing effect. It will pull the electron density towards itself, thereby neutralizing the negative charge on carbon atom and making it more stable. So that's why this intermediate via route B is not obtained. So ring will open up via route A to generate this more stable carbon ion. This is followed by protonation. On this carbon will abstract a proton, leading to formation of this ester. Now here is the example of cyclic ketone which undergoes ring contraction. So we have cyclohexanone. Now this is not alpha haloketone, so first we need to prepare alpha haloketone by carrying out halogenation. Here we have used bromine and acetic acid to generate alpha bromocyclohexanone. Then it is treated with sodium methoxide, which is a base, which will lead to ring contraction and generate a 5-membered cyclopentane intermediate. Now here is the mechanism for this cyclic molecule. First step is halogenation to generate alpha bromocyclohexanone. Then this base abstracts the proton from this carbon atom, generating this negatively charged carbon ion. Now this negatively charged carbon atom will now attack on carbon bearing halogen. So here you have to remember that once you have got carbon ion, in the next step it will attack on carbon bearing halogen. So that halogen leaves the molecule because halogens are good leaving groups. So this will attack here and bromine will leave the molecule to form a new carbon-carbon bond, we get this intermediate. So here you can see cyclopropanone ring, and it is a symmetrical molecule. So methoxide ion will attack, oxygen will acquire negative charge. Now ring will open up, driving force is negative charge on oxygen atom. So this bond will get cleaved. If you break this bond, then also you will get same product. So we get this 5-membered intermediate, that is cyclopentane derivative having ester group. This is another example, similar kind of reaction, but here instead of sodium alkoxide, I have used sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide will, here two kinds of mechanism are there. Either this base will abstract the proton from this carbon atom, then the carbon ion will get generated, that will attack on this carbon having bromine. Bromide ion will leave the molecule, we get this intermediate cyclopropanone, and then ring opening reaction will take place. The other possibility is, instead of attacking there, it can attack directly on this carbonyl carbon atom, oxygen will acquire negative charge, and then there is migration of this sigma bond over here, means this bond breaks and those electrons shift over here and bromine leaves the molecule. So in whichever route is followed, we will get cyclopropane carboxylic acid derivative. Here is another example which was asked in a NET exam. Now here you can see it is cyclohexanone with substituents. We have got isopropyl group and halogen. See the stereochemistry. So alkoxide, in this case we will get again 5-membered ring. There will be decrease in ring size, ring contraction will take place, we will get an ester, and here this intermediate is obtained. I have not shown whole mechanism, but in the first step this will abstract a proton from here, generating a carbon ion. Then that carbon ionic carbon attacks on this chlorine. Chloride ion will leave the molecule to generate cyclopropanone ring. Then methoxide ion will attack and we get this intermediate. Now here due to steric hindrance and all, this bond will break, leading to formation of this product via protonation. This is another example. Now it is a bicyclic molecule. We have sodium ethoxide, which will lead to formation of this as the product. So how do we get this? We have this alpha hydrogen atom. So you can see this carbon. So there are two alpha carbon atom, the one having halogen and this one with the proton. So sodium ethoxide will abstract this proton, generating this carbon ion. Then that carbon ion will attack on carbon bearing bromine and bromide ion will leave the molecule. So you will get a new carbon-carbon bond formation. So we get this cyclopropanone intermediate. Then ethoxide ion, which is a nucleophile, will attack on carbonyl carbon and oxygen will acquire negative charge. We get this intermediate. And then now here you can see there are two 5-membered rings which are fused together. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that is one ring. So this is one ring and the other 5-membered ring is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 1, second carbon atom, third, fourth and this is the 5th carbon atom. So this cyclopropanone ring, whether you break this bond or this bond, you will get same product because this is symmetrical molecule and this will be your final product. Only thing I have written these 5-membered rings in different manner. Here is another example where we have two cyclohexane rings as the substituent. So these are the two alpha carbon atoms. This is one and this is the other. So this OH will abstract the proton from here and then a carbon ion will be generated. That carbon ion will attack on this carbon bearing chlorine. Chloride ion will leave the molecule. So we get this kind of cyclopropanone intermediate. And then OH minus will attack on carbonyl carbon and oxygen will acquire negative charge, followed by ring opening, we get this. So I am not explaining mechanism of all the examples. because this is quite simple, so do not get confused with the complexity of the molecule. Now, I told you that one criteria of Favorsky rearrangement is presence of at least one alpha hydrogen atom. What if that alpha hydrogen atom is not present? So, it is not that reaction will not occur, it does occur, but it is slightly different. We do get product. So, if alpha hydrogen atom is absent, then also we do have an electrophilic site where our nucleophile can attack. Okay. So, and that electrophilic site is carbonyl carbon. So, here you can see this is the molecule. So, with respect to this ketonic, here we do not have alpha hydrogen atom. We need at least one alpha hydrogen atom on carbon where halogen is not present. So, it is not that reaction will not occur. Now, here we have phenyl ring, there is no alpha hydrogen atom. So, how the reaction will occur? So, here I have given the product and this route is the mechanism. So, this base will attack on carbonyl carbon, oxygen will acquire negative charge, we get this intermediate. Now, for the next step, the driving force is negative charge on oxygen atom, which will shift here, and here there is migration of this whole phenyl ring from this carbon atom to this carbon atom bearing halogen, and halogen will leave the molecule, leading to formation of this product. This is again, you can see there is carboxylic acid formation. So, we get this as our final product. Here is another example where you can see there are two alpha carbon atoms and it is symmetrical molecule. This is alpha, this is also alpha. There is no halogen. So, first we need to carry out halogenation. Now, here when we do bromination in acetic acid at a 50 degrees centigrade temperature, then dibromo compound is obtained. Once we have got dibromo compound, now as such we use a base like KOH in DMSO, that is dimethyl sulfoxide, as a solvent. So, instead of attacking on carbon bearing this bromine atoms, the OH minus attacks on carbonyl carbon and oxygen acquire negative charge, generating this intermediate. Once we get this intermediate, then again driving force is negative charge on oxygen atom. Those electron pairs will shift to form carbon oxygen double bond, and it is a symmetrical molecule. So, any one group will migrate. So, here this bond is breaking, and though it is forming bond with this carbon atom. So, we get this molecule and one of the bromide ion leaves the molecule. Now, on this carbon from where the bromide ion has left, there one hydrogen is still there. So, this is that hydrogen atom. In the next step, dehydrohalogenation, that is HBr is eliminated, leading to formation of this olefin. So, if alpha hydrogen is absent, then also reaction can occur. So, this was all about Favorsky rearrangement. I hope you have understood this. If you find any difficulty, you can put it in comment box. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.